Testing 1, 2, 3. Hi, Christina. Hey, Kay. Christine, if you could, the bottom left corner, you see a microphone, and or you should be getting a notification. Oh, there we go. How are you? So anytime you want to speak, you click on the mic.
I got it. I got it.
Okay, you got it. And then when you're done speaking, then you just click, mute the mic. Hey, Kay.
No worries. Thank you.
No worries. I'm gonna start the live stream.
Okay.
My friend Kay is here. She's from the UK.
Hi, Kay, from UK.
I'm gonna let me make sure I get into the right space. And it's my friend Adam. I wanted him to make sure he meets you. Adam's
Hi.
the one I was telling you about. He did his NFT project and donated to 3 researchers. Adam, I gave you the mic, but he might be in the middle of painting or visiting people.
That's cool. Okay. Hi, Adam.
So Adam, I don't know if your ears were ringing or not. I was talking about you.
I figured you were. No, I'm just joking. Hey guys, I'd love to see you guys. How you guys, everyone doing?
I'm great. Can we keep the mics on concurrently, and if there's no noise in the background, or not?
Well, it just works better when like one mutes because in this way it streams nice and smooth. But
Got it.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but it does in a sense if you want to have good quality sound.
Got it. Okay. If I start to have if you have any difficulties with my sound, or if I get dropped out, I'll log back in, just because I'm in the country, so the signal's a little bit, inconsistent sometimes.
Yeah, no worries. We're used to it actually.
Okay.
Heard that story before. I live it every week. I am in Caracas, Venezuela, Christine. So imagine, this is
Yeah, I can imagine, absolutely. Well, I can't imagine. So
every week is a miracle. Every week we can connect is a miracle.
it's actually Thanksgiving here. I'm in Canada, so it's actually quite
my
a
goodness!
quite a fitting opportunity to be on this broadcast.
What today is Canadian Thanksgiving?
Well, tomorrow. I mean, it's this weekend, so yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we have it a little bit earlier than the Americans do.
So you're not planning to work on Monday?
No, I mostly work from home, or just from my car, or from Florida, or from anywhere in between. I'm kind of a bit of a interloper.
Okay, Tonya.
She shows up wherever she is needed. That's what I call Christina is like the person that shows up no matter what. If whatever she's needed, she's there.
Unless I'm in some sort of terrible jam, I will show up, and I'll stay as long as I have to stay to take care of whatever I have to do. You'll hear about it after.
So Adam and I spent the last 4 days at Radfest virtually.
What's the?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I have friends there right now that I work with that are there. I mean, I can't be there this time, but I'm glad that they are, and that they're representing, and they're actually participating in the teens and 20s as well, which is a cryonics activity for younger people, teens and 20s.
I was privileged to be able to be around that since it was founded, and I've just to watch some of the members starting out attending this conference, and then watch them grow and get involved in all the different type of biotech projects. I think Bobby Brooks was one of the first. He's Adam. He's the one is with Greg Fay. We did a Twitter Spaces when you were donating proceeds from one of your NFT project.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, Bobby Brooks was one of them. I think it was like the first one. I'm trying to remember because I was part of all of it.
Yeah, and Dr. Fay actually also spoke at the Radfest. It was pretty awesome. I really wish that I was there so I could have got up there and shaken his hand. Really loved what they had to say.
I was actually in contact with him recently, just regarding. I mean, like I'm involved with work in cryonics, which we're now relabeling biostasis. So I'll probably use the words interchangeably, but for that reason, I've known him for quite a while, and I've been quite in awe of his work.
Yeah, I love just to see different projects and see how far they've gotten. I just remember when they were doing their Thymus project, and now I think he has 3 research going on right now all at once that they're recruiting, which is incredible. I mean, it started out with just rejuvenating the thymus. It was just, and most people don't even think about the thymus at all. When you get older, you don't think it's a big deal, but it makes a huge difference in aging.
Yeah, did you hear
What
his statistic that he gave at that conference? He said that by the time we're 40, which I am right now, I'm 40, our thymus is at 5% capacity compared to when we were born. So like I was just like, okay, I didn't need that statistic in my ear, but hope that the science pans out soon for the rest of us.
Well, I know
Adam,
my
one.
thymus disappeared from COVID. PTSD, my thymus literally disappeared.
Adam, want to do an exchange with my age? If you accept my exchange, instantly you will become 61, and I will be 40 again. It's a deal for you?
Well, I think I'm good. I'm gonna do a hard pass on that.
Yeah, I saw something very, very emotive, very incredibly moving. I saw Michael G. Fox and the math professor from Back to the Future. They were together today or yesterday in a Comic Con, and wow, it was incredible to see Michael G. Fox. I had more than 3 years, 4 years that I didn't see him, and of course you see that he's hit by the actual Parkinson disease, and the movements, a little bit out of control and stuff. But his spirit and the fact that they are together, the moment they embrace each other, well, that the house fell down in the video, which was a very, very nice thing. I have I probably will send you, can publish the link later, for something from Instagram. I guess it's a Instagram reel or something like that. But I wanted to say, Christy, what the name of your Twitter handle? Dark Jasmine.
You're going to realize that almost everything that's brought me here today has been by accident. And so, Dark Jasmine was actually the handle I used to use for gaming. And I just, one of these things where you don't want to put your name on something you're unfamiliar with. And I just used that instead because it was an old go-to. But honestly, it doesn't have a lot of meaning.
Wow.
I like night blooming jasmine. I love the smell of it, and I remember it. It's a very strong memory of mine when I lived in California, and I
Okay.
don't know. But again, you're gonna be. I hope you're not disappointed, but a lot of what you're going to learn about me today was by accident in terms of NFTs. But hopefully, they're good accidents, and I'm sure they are. It's just
No, but it's a great name. When I see peculiar names, I adore to
Thank
get to
you.
know the origin, because it's
Thank
really
you.
peculiar. And I wanted to ask you too, before
Before
Yeah.
we start, I want to
starting.
let's do the
Uh, the,
disclaimer real quick. So, hi everybody,
yes,
welcome to the NFTs for a Cause. This is our episode 31. Carlos and I have been doing this since February of this year. Excited that we were able to feature a lot of different projects that are donating some of their proceeds of their NFTs to a nonprofit or social goods, doing something that makes a difference. And before we start, I want to let everyone know this space is recorded and live streamed to 5 social networks. So just know, if you grab the mic, you're letting us disseminate, cut up the information, and promote this space, because it's going to help Christine with her project. And so today, I'm thrilled to have her on. It all just started from one of her Facebook posts, and also, full disclaimer, Christina and I know each other personally, and so it was just really nice to see her on Facebook, and she posts, and I was just thinking about her, and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't heard from Christine. I'm such a bad friend. She's here, she lives down here now, and so I didn't even hear from her. And then all of a sudden I see your post, which I don't get to see nothing on Facebook, really. I don't, because I'm not on there that much. But the one time I was there, I'm gonna let Christine tell us a little bit about it, but I saw her post about her AI art, and I was like, oh my God, this needs to be on the blockchain, and you need to mint this. So everyone, let's welcome Dark Jasmine _1 to our Twitter space. And Carlos, the mic is yours.
Well, I'm very, very happy to be here, and I love the subject of longevity, because I don't know how I came from the Adam's age to mine today. It happened in just 20 minutes. I mean, 20 minutes ago, I was 40 years old, and now I'm 61. Why is too fast? Why is that fast, Christine? Why? I mean, because I remember that from 20 to 30, it was okay. From 30 to 40, well, it was fast, but not so fast. But my goodness, from 40 to 50 and 50 to 60, was it just a couple of blinks?
I can't answer that. I feel the same way. I don't even know. I mean, I'm gonna tell you guys something, because most women don't do this, but I will, because I have no shame. In 4 months, I turned 50, and so for me, this is a big year too. It's a fright. It's like, oh my gosh, where did half of a century go? I still feel like I'm 25. I'm in the body, like in the mind of a 25-year-old, and in the body of a 49-year-old, and it's like, I wish I had it, both ways. Not yet, but I completely understand.
Yeah, it's a funny feeling. But anyway, I am happy to that. Well, it is. I think longevity is something so peculiar, because why I have been working with comedy, with humor. I started writing. For a Venezuelan SNL-like show, just like Saturday Night Live, but the Venezuelan version. It's not on the air already, because the socialist government shut down the the complete station, disappeared. You should imagine Biden saying, okay, there is no more NBC starting Monday, and NBC is wiped out. That's what happened to our TV station, thanks to Mr. Leftist. And but we were on the air 40 years, okay? And in the show, we have been working with humor. And you know what is incredible? There is a huge relationship around the world between humor and longevity. I mean, not humor, the laughter. I mean, the cultures, for example, the famous Okinawa population, the Japanese are not so just like they are not just like the most partying bunch, just like they are solemn, serious, traditional, specifically the older age groups. But these people in Okinawa, they were just like the happiest in Japan. They love jokes, they laugh a lot. The same in Peru. Peru is incredibly. They have had just like the people with 112, 115, 120 years old people alive in the record Guinness. I think the actual record Guinness for longevity for the oldest man, I think, is a Peruvian. And they also are so happy in these places. So I have been always connected, and you have examples in the United States. For example, take the greatest comedian of the golden era. For example, George Burns. George Burns, the husband of Gracie Allen, he actually died 100 years old. Okay, and he was, since he was a kid, the first time he said in a meeting, just like, and I think it was a Thanksgiving, and he was 11 years old, he said, during all his life, he said to his family, I'm going to be 100 years old. I'm going to be 100 years old. I'm going to be 100 years old. And in 1993, I was a correspondent for my TV station, and I was in LA, and they were signing a contract 6 years before his birthday number 100. And one of the journalists there asked Mr. Burns, because they were signing the contract to celebrate his 100th birthday in the Las Vegas Caesars Palace. And then the journalist said, hey, you are 94. I mean, you are signing this contract 6 years away. I'm so sure. I mean, are you sure that you will be able, I mean, that this celebration could be handled and take place? And the answer of George Burns was just the greatest, the adorable. He said, well, my dear, if for in 6 years, that little crummy hotel in Las Vegas is still operating, I don't see why we cannot do the party over there. Isn't that great? I mean, he never considered the possibility that he died before that time. He said, oh, well, if the hotel is still working, okay, I think we can do it. So it's
really mindset then, right, Christine? But before we even start, let's
that's more complicated than that. But yeah, I'll go with mindset for now.
But I also want to, before we start, I want to just let's just introduce Christine, and then Christine, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what made you get interested in doing art? Because I know what you do, which is very analytic. But
it's just,
where does the art side come of it?
I am so humorless in my life, and yet I love to laugh as well. It's kind of a contradiction. I'm sorry to say. Okay, I'll start from the beginning. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse. I'm not practicing as a nurse right now, but I'm still an RN in California. I'm just holding on to that because I want to maintain it. But I worked in trauma and emergency for almost 20 years in Canada and in the U.S. I was involved in cryonics, which, as I mentioned, is now we're trying to call biostasis, but I'll just call it cryonics for now. Been involved with that since probably 1998. And I'm the president of the Cryonics Society of Canada. I do grassroots sort of, lots of interviews actually, in terms of that role and helping people who want to sign up for cryonics, helping them, in Toronto or what have you, when they run into trouble and need our help. Did that for quite a while, and then I did a bit of work for Alcor, writing case reports, just sort of freelance for a couple of years. But the best thing ever is how I met Tanya, which is I started working for her boss, for Bill Falloon, at Biomedical Research and Longevity Society in Florida. And I essentially moved to Florida, and I've been there 3 years. I get to sort of float back and forth where, like I said, I'm in Canada now where my family is, but I get to travel very freely between the two and do my work, on my own. And we're starting up these 2 new startups this year. They're going to be very different from the cryonics that people have seen in the past. And they're already incorporated nonprofits, and one of them is called Biostasis Technologies, and it will be in New York City. And the CEO will be Austin DeWolf. And I don't know if you guys know these people or not. I'm sorry if you don't. And then the other company will be Resurgence Biomedical Sciences in South Florida. And we're going to be doing basically oversight, quality control, education, and research and improvements on what we call SST, which is the field part of cryonics, the standby stabilization and transport. And yes, that's all very, very serious, but it's the second half of this longevity conversation, and we're very we're very intertwined with the the plan A, let's call it the plan A part of longevity research, because you can plan, and I've heard this many, many times from many people who are heavily involved in life extension, in life extension research. Oh, I don't need to sign up for cryonics because escape velocity is going to come in 10 years, or I'm going to be fine because I'm doing all these other things and I'm not going to need you. And you feel like the creepy cousin who people don't want to talk to, but you have to remind them. And again, this goes back to working as a nurse. You could get hit by a bus tomorrow, or you could get COVID, or something horrible could happen that changes all of your plans, and you're not prepared. And so we're kind of trying to flip things around now, where we're asking people to consider us a plan A and longevity science a plan B, because within our lifetimes, we're starting to see that we haven't really moved the needle as much as we want to. So, in a sense, this is a good conversation to say we need more investment in talent and in time and in money in longevity research, but also in the plan B, which is getting better at preserving you if we can't keep you going. And in terms of art, I started last week. And again, I mentioned to Tanya, this all sort of happened by accident. I always had an interest in art, but I discovered this OpenSea. No, I didn't even discover OpenSea. I discovered the DALL-E 2 program, and I had been put on the waiting list just because I, thought it might be interesting. And then I started experimenting with it, and I started realizing that it was, the AI, which is essentially, I'm giving it instructions and it's producing the art, but it's beautiful stuff. And I posted a few things on Facebook not even a few days ago, and Tanya just recommended, she liked it. She said, you've got to come and you got to mint them as NFTs. And honest to goodness, I didn't even know what an NFT really was. And so here we are. But I have linked my profile on my Twitter, I guess, homepage. And I have three different collections in there. If you see any of them with prices, that's just me, that I didn't know what I was doing. And I wish I could remove them, but I don't know how. So they're not meant to have prices on them. I'm just experimenting with the program. But yeah, I've literally known about the OpenSea program for less than 3 days, and I've probably got about 75 pictures on there already, and probably 1,000 other ones that I'd love to put on there that I just haven't had time yet. And some of them are just amazing, and I hope you guys enjoy them and look at them and give me feedback, because this is something I didn't even realize that I'd be amazed by, and yet here I am and completely enthralled. So I don't
Well,
know.
that's one reason I wanted you to meet Adam, because I'm sure Adam wouldn't mind just telling you a little bit. Because, like I said, we all
Yeah.
have to start, and I'm just thrilled that you're doing this, because it's something I've been talking about. I've been I've been in NFT spaces since February of last year, and just now, just being so involved and talking about the things, and what you're doing today is what I want to do. I wanted that's why I'm trying to get more of our community to be part of this and can join the NFT and everything. So, but I have my friend Brent here. He wanted to say hi, and he's actually from Ottawa, Canada. And
Oh,
then
okay.
Adam also is gonna. But before Brent, before I let you go, I wanted Adam to give maybe. I know Adam's in the middle of something, but I wanted him to give her some tips on what to do with her pricing. Hey, Adam.
Hi, Tanya. Why you just gave me a really hard question saying give her tips on pricing. That is like the hardest thing for.
No, no, I didn't mean like that. How can she remove the price
Oh,
price
sure.
point off of
Well,
her?
that we can walk you through after your interview here. You're welcome to DM me,
Okay.
and I can give you some steps to how to change that. Oh, Carlos,
Thank
your
you.
mic is on. And Christine, I also have a series of YouTube videos I'm going to send you. There's about 19 of them right now, and they help people who are new to the NFT community understand our terminology and how to do things better. So I think that would also help you a lot.
That's amazing, and honestly, I'm so grateful for all of you, because this is something that's just made a big left turn in my life that I'm completely again enthralled by, and I love it. And if I can continue with it, especially since I noticed that the DALL-E 2 recently changed so that you can use it for commercial use. Even the fact that Tanya said, you can donate proceeds to research and or longevity research, and I thought that was the best thing I'd ever heard, because I've wanted to contribute in that way for a long time and haven't been able to. So yeah, keep sending me whatever you can. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And if you don't mind saying, what percentage do you plan to donate to longevity research?
I don't know, half. I'm not sure what people do. I know that. I do need a little bit of sort of a financial boost these days, because I'm really, really feeling, I'm suffering because of the economic climate, and I've got some medical issues to take care of. But I mean, half, is that a reasonable amount? I don't even know again what people do. So
every project's different. There's some that do 100%. There's some that do 5%. So anywhere in between. I mean,
yeah,
there's no. This is the NFT world. Is the wild west of, we can choose and pick how we want to do things. And so I was just curious, just so I could know. So when I can talk to my friends, I can let them know, hey, she's got a project for longevity. She's donating half, and then they can decide what they would like to do from there. That's the reason why I was asking.
I
So
appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome, and I wish you the absolute best with your project here.
Thank you so much, and I'm gonna have a better look at yours as well, because I did look at it briefly, but again, I've been kind of overwhelmed by all of this, so I'll take a better look at it as well. Thank you.
And Brent, I want to ask a question or share?
Well, I just want to share a comment. I been learning about longevity for maybe 2 or 3 months now. With the help from Tanya. And learning about transhumanism and technology by attending the Church of Perpetual Life, founded by Bill Falloon. And I just attended Radfest virtually for the first time, and I loved it. And we'll be blogging about it, and I have so much content, blogging content to share about longevity and cryonics and everything I learned at Radfest the last 3 or 4 days.
It's wonderful to meet you.
If it wasn't for my friendship with Tanya, I don't think I would be learning about longevity and cryonics and all those topics.
Tanya's a very special person, and I'm going to be probably the 10th person to say that, not the first, but I'll be the first today, anyways.
So cute. I'm actually on your page. I just tweeted out so I can pin some of your artwork. This is the one I like, the Mega Man.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I really like. Hang on, let me pull this up myself. I just named them yesterday or the day before, so. The one with the woman standing in front of a red planet.
I like that one too. And Brent,
That
to
one?
answer your question, I'm so happy you were able to spend. We spent 4 days virtually. I wanted you to experience it, and I'm looking forward to publishing or reading your blog post.
I'm very happy that I can publish about my first time attending Redfest.
And actually, Brent has friends from Canada that flew into San Diego to go to Radfest because of Brent. Actually, you introduced him to Perpetual Life, and I'm not sure if he listened to my show with the founders of the producers of Radfest. They were on. I did a space with, but I'm glad you had a good time. And then I want to say hi to Poison. Hi, Poison. How's it going? Nelta, how's it going? And also Tag. How's it going? Welcome to the space. Michael is from near me too. And then Eric, hi. Welcome to our space. Yeah, I think it's so important to do this. I just, when you go to a virtual conference, especially it lasts for days, I like to be able to have, it has to be an experience. I'm like, I have to really, like, this whole thing has to be an experience. So I'm glad you were able to experience it with me.
I feel like there was so much being shared that I have to go back and watch the recording.
Yeah, they had entertainers. They did flamingo dancer. I mean, like that music and everything.
Maria was incredible, Tanya.
Yeah, she is incredible. She's an incredible singer.
And so was Greta Blackburn.
Yes, Greta's hilarious. I tell you that. Greta, I have a picture of her and Bill Andrews and Dr. Jeff Life, and it looked like Greta was using me as her, like, holding, she was just leaning on me because I'm so short compared to her. But she's really an incredible person. So Christine, your artwork, I really love it. I think I just share one, and then I'm going to pin the other one too.
Thank you.
And then you also I'm gonna say hi to my friend Ariel. He's here too. I'm gonna say hi to him. He just had a really good space. Hello. And then so when you get, we just did this, I wanted you to get comfortable with Twitter Spaces and kind of understand how everything works, and different people pop in and they all do great things, and they all share and stuff. And especially someone like Adam. Adam has been here to quite a bit. He knows a lot of people too. He hosts Adam, your Spaces goes for hours. He was doing every day for the longest time too.
I was, but I had to take a break because I was traveling these last couple of months. But before, I'd host between 3 to 6 hours. It's a lot of fun. And Christine, you really need to join those kind of spaces and share your art. Let people get to know you, because NFT community is very much about getting to know each other. So some collectors will wait, 3 months, 4 months before they'll bid on something, just because they want to get to know you and know you're not going to just leave, and you'll remain part of the community. So I hope that you continue to be part of the community and continue to share your work with us.
Thank you. It gives me, it's helpful to know that, because, from my perspective, I don't even know that it is a community. And so, I'm learning everything you're saying is a lesson for me. And I appreciate, honestly, all the support, because like I said, that wouldn't occur to me that it was a community like that.
It's an extremely active community, actually. And you kind of just jumped in the deep end, and I admire that, because that's a great personality trait to have, to get things done. And I'm really happy to see you doing that, and that you chose longevity to be part of your first NFT project, because that's what I did too. My first NFT project was also on longevity. And so we have some stuff in common there, and I hope I wish you a lot of success. So please do make sure you're hopping in all the different Twitter Spaces to share your works with everybody. And Tanya is a great friend to have. She's very supportive, and I met her after about halfway through my project, and so she helped me on the last. We had an interview on the last piece as well. So yeah, she's a great friend to have. So I'm glad that you're having space with her.
I still owe her a lunch. She took me out to lunch once, sort of mid COVID, and now it's my turn. We just haven't had a chance to sync up our schedules yet, but she is a great person.
I'm telling you, I was just thinking, I was like, oh my God, how's she doing? I haven't spoken to her. I'm such a horrible friend. I went into the whole Twitterverse and never came out, It's like we went from oh my God, you think they're gonna shut us down? We're gonna shut down like everybody else. We're like, no, we're not. Nope, they shut us down. And then we spent 4th of July. We're not allowed to go on the beach, and we were good with it. And then when they reopened, everyone was just into their own world, because in Florida we stayed open. I mean, we were shut down for a couple months, but I got into Twitterverse, so my Twitterverse was that was my day. And then to run into Adam, just it was so weird to run. Adam came into our space and started talking about his project, and that's how it works. So, and another person who I met in my Twitterverse is Ariel. Hey, Ariel, how are you?
Hi, Tanya. How are you? I still remember when the hurricane was going on in Florida. The first person I thought of was you, and I just remember to say happy, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, because I know that I think your husband's in Jewish, so your kids are Jewish, and yesterday was a big day. Like, the man himself, who I was talking about for so long, Andrew Yang, came in, and with my new team that does the whole Radio Uninvited thing. We had a really, really good space with him. It was 40 minutes with the former presidential candidate of the United States, and then a 54-minute question and answer session after that, where most people, despite that he left, still stayed for the question and answer session. So those people really saw something in us, and it wasn't just him. So I was very happy about yesterday. It was a wonderful time, wonderful people, and yeah, just wanted to come and say that.
Building community, they say. Building community is the key for everything. I'm very proud of you. I'm so happy.
I think I came to learn during the whole lockdown that I was very well suited to deep space travel, because I was able to I was quite content for the longest time being isolated. Actually, that was a surprise, but I shouldn't have been so isolated from the online community, and that's where I made the mistake. So I'm trying to pick that up now, obviously, but yeah, just to comment on what you said about isolation. Actually, I kind of thrived in it for a little while.
Christine, are you an ex-gamer or are you still playing games?
No, I still play. I play. I mean,
What
nothing
is your
crazy. I don't have any in PlayStation. I play mostly games on my phone or computer or whatever. Yeah, just I don't know. Like
what's your favorite actually? What's the one you are playing the most in these days?
Last Day on Earth. It's a zombie game. It's a zombie apocalypse game. It's like a world building game. Yeah, it's you know what? I've got some very strange interests, but you know they're kind of all geared towards the same thing, and that's not dying or the exploration of the end of the world or what have you.
I don't know why, but I have the hunch that you must be a really tough opponent. I wouldn't play with you. You will destroy me in three
It's
minutes.
not a competitive game. It's a world building game, and so again, I live in isolation even in my gaming, which is weird, which is kind of funny actually.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm really sort of excited about the prospects of going in two directions. You were asking me about just in terms of what kind of information you'd send me, how much I wanted to donate, and I said half. I'm really interested in sort of that dual idea of giving to cryonics research because we need it so badly, and giving it to longevity research because we don't want to have to do cryonics. And so you know I, I'll promote those two causes to the end of time. I could spend hours and hours and hours talking about those causes without even realizing that the time goes by, without any sort of financial incentive. But having all of this going on as well, I think, is so great because a lot of people can do exactly what I'm doing. This isn't that hard. At least I don't think it is.
Well, I was very impressed. Like I said, your pieces were beautiful. And can you tell us your process? Like, were there certain keywords that you had the AI look for, or what did
Yeah,
you do to the artwork
I,
afterward?
I thought about that question because you mentioned it earlier, and my first response was, okay, my process is this looks cool, let's try it together. But honestly, there is a bit of process, and I was thinking about it. Um, there was three things. I wanted to create a logo for our new company, and I wanted to be a neuron of some kind because we're doing brain preservation. But that was sort of the beginning of a long tangent that ended up with me creating a collection of neurons in different art styles, and it kind of exploded into this really beautiful array of pictures that I wasn't expecting. So I've got pop art, and I've got impressionism and expressionism and all that other very interesting sort of combinations. And I discovered that when I add the sort of keywords of what I want to see, I need to add very specifically what art style I want, and I actually get better outcomes that way. Um, the second grouping was mostly outer space and wanting to sort of, I guess, play around with the idea of liminal spaces, and um, it's based on a book that I read, a novel a long time ago. I've got it here. I don't remember the name exactly. Let me just check it. And I'm going to pause for a sec. But it's Tomorrow and Tomorrow. And it's, I suppose, a cryonics book in terms of a novel. But really, what it gives me is this impression of how long forever might actually be. And I wanted to sort of I wanted to explore that, in terms of art. What would it look like? And so you see some of the images are very sort of dark and lonely, but they're meant to be that way, and try to be beautiful in that way. And then the third was just the mundane, the everyday life. So you got your cats and your birds and your mixture of different things. But I think in there I ended up getting into um, adding in steampunk elements because why not? And then the last thing was just sort of wondering what the limits of the computer were. So I asked it about the technological singularity and what its impression was of it. And it gave me the most terrifying images of what it its position is on taking over the world. So there's some of that. There's a little bit of that in there, but I've got a lot more of that I haven't posted yet. That's just really incredibly creepy, but beautiful and interesting as well. So that's really, I think, as far as I know how to take it, unless you guys have questions that prompt different ideas.
So I see a lot of your steampunk. I'm actually on your page and OpenSea. So I see a lot of steampunk, but which one is that the AI definition of transhumanism?
Let me just grab it up here.
Yeah, share it to the nest. I'm kind of curious because, like I said, it's just.
I'm actually looking at it on my laptop because
yeah,
I don't want to lose you on this feed. The one with the guy, it looks like there's a man holding, his hand next to his face.
Yeah.
That one was technological singularity, believe it or not, as well as the profile of the profile of the sort of the cyborg. Essentially, is what he is. There's a cyborg in there as well.
The deep space mission.
Call him Psi.
Okay.
Let me find. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this interface. I apologize.
No worries. I like the Poppy Study one. I really like those. That's cool.
Yeah, I think about poppies sometimes when I have really bad pain. I'm like, I'd love to grow some poppies, but no. I mean, I think they're beautiful. They're beautiful flowers. So, the liminal ones, they were just, I don't know, just based on, like I said, what I described in that about that novel. Oh yeah, the other one is the sentient and watching. That looks like that red robot with one eye. That one is the computer's understanding of what the singularity is going to be like.
That one, oh my gosh, this one, I'm going to share this one.
As well as the ones under it. I wrote them as technological singularity 1, 2, and 3. Those are other interpretations, just different forms that I used, different art forms, and maybe a couple of other words thrown in there.
Wow.
Yeah. The other ones. The one I called formigas, which is, I guess, Portuguese or Spanish for ants. It looked like the city encapsulated in a jar. It's like an ant farm, and that was another one that I asked the computer to describe to me. So yeah, and the automated workstation as well. That as well. So I think the computer doesn't have good plans or long-term plans for humans, according to this. But it's still fascinating, I think.
Yeah, but should we be worried?
That's not good. I think we just need to keep up with them and just go along with it.
Well, I have, because I got into AI and I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh, I got these two. They're supposed to be a robot, but they were like they're not like perfect or anything. But you have to teach your robot. You can't just you can't just get one, turn it on, and boom, you have an AI. It does stuff for you. It's not about that. You have to actually teach it.
Like a child.
Yeah, it's like a child. I didn't have time. It was a lot of work. Then I got two of them. I got one big one and one little one. They're in my storage unit right now. But my friends' kids are into it, so I might let them have it because in this way because it needs to be. All I could do is it dances, it tangos. I would like to do it because the one that Elon Musk has, his does hip hop and stuff. Mine just does the tango. That's all mine knows how to do actually.
Well, ironically, I mean, from what I understand, DALL-E is an Elon Musk creation, so maybe some of his feelings about the singularity are infused in some of these images. It's hard to say. I certainly want to sort of say that my favorites, if you're going to say, I have a favorite or two, is the one that's First Awake, which is this woman standing in front of what looks like Mars, looking back at Earth, and then the one that the one with the steampunk Three Stooges I thought was hilarious. So it was like the one's called Mo. I mean, I didn't want to copyright, the Three Stooges on there, but yeah, one's called Mo. So I thought that was fantastic the way that came out. But like I said, and the one that's actually the biostasis superhero, I was creating that for Vincent. Vincent's the new guy that we're hiring in our company. He's a paramedic. And he's 26 years old. He's the sweetest guy. He's a friend of Bill's, actually. And I did that with the intention of wanting to give it to him before I knew about any of this, before I knew about, you know, what we're doing, that was actually my first iteration was that biostasis superhero.
I love that. Yeah, biostasis is the new keyword, it's a new word that they're using. Actually, we did.
Yep.
Carlos and we did a space. Oh my gosh, I just
That would have
went
been with
blank.
Emil. You would have heard it from Emil.
He came on, but he was working with another project. They're the one that was promoting his
Tomorrow
NFT.
Biostasis or European Biostasis Foundation.
Well, Tomorrow
Probably.
Biostasis was it, but there was another project, another platform that was handling their project. I'll look it up and I'll tell you, because it was really cool.
I'm actually going to Switzerland for a conference in at his establishment a week from now. It's already a week from now. Holy smokes! But yeah, so that's going to be wonderful because I'm going to be immersed in biostasis for a week.
Yeah, his facility is really nice.
I'm mostly interested in his vehicle because Bill wants us to build a mobile operating room in Florida, and we are looking
What
to do
happened
it
to the
right.
ambulance? Doesn't the ambulance do that?
Not to the degree that we want it. The ambulance belongs to Suspended Animation, and it's not up to snuff with the level to which we want to take biostasis. It is old school cryonics, and we're looking to do something that's much more integrated with modern proper medicine.
Okay, Christine, just a second. I would love to hear your take or your point of view regarding something. There was a conference I heard from Japanese businessmen, and they were talking about the subject of longevity, and that was like maybe more than 8 years ago, prior to NFTs. And in this conference, this guy who is kind of the Japanese Lee Iacocca, I don't remember his exact name, but I can find it. He said something pretty clever regarding longevity. He said, okay, if you give me 1 million yens or $1 million to use in a company to apply to a longevity program, I will split that amount and I will use $500 million on the longevity investigations and research, and the other $500 million, I will devote them to security and safety in the place of work. Because he said, and I started a whole stand-up comedy routine from that serious idea of this Japanese businessman, because he said something very, very logical. He said, okay, you can be doing everything properly regarding longevity. You are taking the proper food, you are taking the kind of exercise, you are taking the kind of meditations like Joe Dispenza, whatever. But if you have a car crash or you have a bad on the job accident, your longevity is gone. I mean, so he was talking that the biggest enemy of longevity is precisely just like the reality of accidents. Is something that you can avoid, and so we developed and I have a course with comedians and stuff, and we use that subject, and that became something just like usual among us. It's like it's just like a double subject. But this man looked to me, this Japanese businessman was so clever or so clear, just like, hey, this makes sense, because okay, you are doing good steps in pro of longevity, but if you have an insecure and unsafe your workplace, you're risking all the efforts you are making on the longevity. What do you think of that?
Well, a couple of things. I'll start with the funny first. If you ever seen the sitcom Big Bang Theory, Sheldon Cooper is this sort of semi-autistic, not autistic, but big brain in the show, and they do an entire episode on this. He wants to reach a technological singularity, but he's realized how dangerous the world will be from here to there. So he locks himself in his room, and he's a virtual presence, and his virtual presence goes around annoying everybody. And he realizes that it's not going to work because it's funny when you watch it. It's hilarious, especially when you have some sort of emotional attachment to the subject matter. But I mean, I've been saying this for years, and it's trying to shake people a little bit and say, you could get hit by a bus tomorrow. It's just you have no control over the way the universe works, and one sort of, I think, one of the fatal flaws of longevity type people and cryonics type people is that many of them have the minds of computer programmers, and that can be good in many, many ways. But where it fails is where they see the entire human body as one big engineering problem. And yeah, it may be, but we're nowhere near the level of complexity in terms of our knowledge to be able to account for every possible iteration of what could happen to us. And so, again, we can, I mean, I lost a friend today, that was, involved in all of this, and he wasn't that old. And yet, I mean, I had another friend who had a stroke 2 months ago who survived in an amazing way. But some of it was his good health, but a lot of it was luck. A lot of it was because of the hundreds of phone calls we made to try to help him. And and so there's so much that could go wrong, and this is what keeps me awake at night. Okay, and I'll tell you this, and I'm one of those kinds of people that you'll get to know me. I'm brutally honest. I try to be kind, but I'm brutally honest with people because I don't want to sort of dilly dally about all of this. There are so many things that could go wrong in your plans, that one small failure, like for example, not having did you realize that the person who had the stroke was wearing an Alcor necklace, and the paramedics took it off, and so they had no idea what his arrangements were, even though he thought he had planned for everything. And so there's so many sort of, again, iterations of failure that we're nowhere near, ready to sort of even announce that longevity or that cryonics is in a position to actually move the needle in terms of us living longer. I mean, it's possible, but it's not a consumer. It's not a sort of consumer driven industry at this point. It's a pioneer driven industry, and we need everybody involved in this, and whether it be money or support or PR or actually getting your hands dirty and helping people. I mean, we're still in a pioneer stage. We're nowhere near the stage where you can just sign up for something and just wait until it happens for you. So that's my response. I agree in a sense with your friend to a point in terms of safety, but the man could spend $500 million or dollars in safety and still end up with appendicitis and die in his bed. So, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
you can plan. Like I said, you can plan. I got super. I mean, here I am, great health advocate for everybody else, and I almost died of sepsis in 2020 because I had pain and didn't want to go to the hospital because of COVID. And so, it happened. It can happen to all of us. And I mean, we need some. I mean, there's many things you can do to lower your risk of a bad outcome, and you just keep chipping away at those risks. You keep, lowering them with these multi-layered sort of plans, and of course, depending on your level of commitment to the cause. But there's ways of minimizing your risk greatly, but it's not as simple as one thing.
Yes, in the stand-up comedy world, we do joke a lot about something really scary. The most dangerous animal for the humankind, is the mosquito. I mean, most people die of mosquito bites every year than from attacks from any other, all the animals together, almost.
Yep.
That cannot sum up the number of deaths produced by a mosquito bite. So,
Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you. Is I think Carlos. There you go. Say that again, Carlos, because we lost you. Yeah, Carlos is in Venezuela, so sometimes his signals is good and bad, and
We'll wait for him to come back.
yeah.
So I hope I'm not scaring everybody away. This is mostly
No, it's
supposed to be
not.
an
No, I
NFT
think I love it, and
conversation.
I also have the meaning is here too. I told her to pop in. She is doing her second music NFT, and I think she's launching it yesterday. She did, so we'll have to invite her to come up when she gets a chance to say hi. Also, So when it comes to NFT, it's a very small. It's a lot going on, but it's very small community. Everybody has this community within the community, so it's interesting time. Hey, the meaning, how are you?
Oh, hey, what's going on, guys?
Carlos, are you there? You want have to like leave the space and come back, Carlos, because we featured the meaning. I think she was our episode 7. I have to look it up. I think you were donating for your music NFT proceeds, part of it to go to plant a tree. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's right. I had created an animated cover art collectible for my debut single, Lie. So, yeah, that's the only NFT I've ever created. So, it was just for fun. Um, I came into the Twitter space. A lot of people were asking me about, if I had an NFT. I didn't have one. I created one, and now I'm a part of the space. So, I decided to try to donate a percentage of each mint to trees.org. Haven't had any mints, but I'm just happy to be a part of the community. So
It's nice to meet you.
This is Christine. This is her first NFT also, and she's donating to longevity research. So
it's my first Twitter space. It's my first everything.
oh wow. Well, welcome. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And also in the space we have Louis, Crypto God Louis. Just did his first NFT also. I'm going to be co-hosting for his space. I invite him to speak with Amanda, and I will be co-hosting his Louis Music NFT space. And also we have Poison is in the space, who's from South Florida, and he has incredible music. Like I told him, I actually tagged him on this whole chain that they did on about Elon Musk, buying Twitter, not buying Twitter, buying Twitter. And I wanted him to write a rap song about it to read, because I think it's funny. I just find it hilarious. I wanted him to like read this person's Twitter post and put it to music.
That actually reminds me of when I started experimenting with crypto for the first time. It was when all the markets crashed in like March or April of 2020, and I just got in there, and it's like, oh, look how cheap Bitcoin is. So I started buying it, and I started following Elon Musk on Twitter. And every time I think the guy just screwed with everybody. Every time he'd blink and he'd say something ridiculous like Dogecoin, yay! Everybody would buy up Dogecoin, then he'd crash it. It's just he would just play with people back and forth on Twitter, just regarding Dogecoin or regarding any type of, I think, crypto conversation. Everybody sort of flew by whatever he said, which was maybe a little cruel, but kind of funny.
He is hilarious. I follow him because I think it's funny. I think all of it's funny. And then Poison.
What's up? Appreciate that shout out for sure. Yeah, that's what was funny. Hey, what up, Luke?
It's nice to meet you, Poison.
Hey, Tanya, I don't remember how to do the pin the thing to the top. I have no idea. It's been a while since I've been on Twitter Space. I just released a new song today, guys. If you want to go and listen to it, check it out. Thanks.
Okay, I can pin it for you. All it is you the part with the arrow. Is it your pin tweet?
Oh right yeah, I think I remember
that one.
I think I sort of remember how to do it now.
That one?
Oh, is it my pin tweet? Oh yeah, it's that one, yeah.
Did Carlos come back?
Crypto God Louis hosts his space from 8 to 9. We have a special guest, and then we have open mic. You should just pop in too, because I've been talking to him about you. So hit the meaning. Say hi to Crypto God.
Oh wait,
God Louis.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Crypto God Louis is the one I was telling you about that does the music NFTs. Space. Yeah, on Sundays it's from 8 to 9:30. And
Oh,
so
cool.
I'm his co-host, and I sponsor it by live streaming it out to my social network. But from 8 to 9, we feature an artist, and then from 9 to 9:30, it's open mic. And then this way we get to meet new artists, and then Louis gets to meet them, and then he invites them back, to be featured on his
That's
space.
cool. That's really cool. I might stop in. This is my first Twitter space in, I don't know, maybe 4 months. I think it's been. So yeah, I like your space. I feel safe. So, and anybody that's associated with you, you know, I can definitely be in cahoots with. So
Oh, thank you. Yeah, actually, we met in my music space when I was doing NFT's music radio. It was so, and then she popped in too, and then we started talking. And so I think and then we talk and we see each other in music NFT spaces when you were a lot busier too. So, and actually, I shared in the bottom. There's a speech bubble. I wanted to also before I kind of like if you guys get a chance, it was the longevity DAO is the one that Carlos and I promoted. I'll tell you exactly. I just shared it. Hold on.
31 programs, not easy to remember all of them.
It was 21. It was episode 21 that we did it. I'll tell you. I put it in the speech bubble, and I didn't want to like lose it. And here you go. It's the longevity _ DAO. That's the people I want to introduce you to, Christine.
Okay.
You can. It's in the bottom purple. There's a purple bubble in the bottom. That's where you can put links that you want people to know and stuff. So I shared it down there. They were our episode 20.
I totally I really haven't been asleep since yesterday. I just posted on Twitter and just actually made the post that was supposed to be my pin post. My pin post. Oh my God. So I don't know if you want me to post that one instead, or I don't know. So
I'm gonna move the other one. You want me to do the other one?
yeah, I'm sorry.
No
I'm
worries.
I'm really sleepy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I appreciate for popping in here. Yes, this is the one Planet Tree with the purchase of music NFT. It's the one we did. So the one that you just pinned, it says do not click, ignore, dive into the ambient.
Yeah,
That one?
yeah, that's the one. Because
I think that's the one I shared, isn't it? Oh, so let me see.
No, actually, it was the one that you shared was the one I posted earlier this morning, and then I posted
there
another.
it is. Okay, now that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, like right before I came into the room, and I forgot to pin it before I came in because I'm running on no sleep. So
Yeah, you've been busy. So Christine, what happens is they got the pinned tweet. So when you tweet out something, there's an arrow in the bottom of that tweet. You can click that, and you can hit the name of the Twitter space you're in, and it will pin it up. It's kind of like it pins up right above you, so people can see it.
Okay.
And then if you want to pin your tweet, the top right corner, there's the 3 dots. You click that on your tweet, and then it'll drop down. It'll say pin this tweet to your profile, and it'll pin to your profile. So
Yeah,
that's
stay
the
on the
tweet.
top. Stay on the top. Yep.
No, I'm talking about like for yourself. Like if you want to pin something on your profile.
Right. That's what I thought.
Yeah, there's the top corner of the tweet. There's 3. You hit that, and you can pin to your profile. I'm so impressed with you, Christine. I mean, literally, I did not expect this today.
Really?
No.
I feel like I'm.
I
I
just kind
feel
of
like
like
I'm
threw it out
dragging you
there.
guys along this improv of mine, and I
Do you know how many times I've been trying to get people to get involved in NFT or even learn about the blockchain or even about tokens? And
hey, you mentioned it once, and I jumped on. So
I know that's why I mean, I literally I'm like, oh my God, maybe Facebook isn't like, is allowing me to like post on my friends' feed and see it. Because anytime anyone posts anything on my feed, I don't see it. I don't get notification. I have to go look for it. So that's why I was so happy that
Christine,
you answered me.
Christine,
Yes, sir.
you are the only one human being I've heard of that heard of NFTs for the first time on a Monday and was already doing NFTs on Thursday, on less than a week. I am suspecting you are an Optimus robot by Elon Musk. Tell us the truth. Are you a real human or are you a robot?
I'm a time traveler from the singularity future, and I've come to take you all over.
Great answer.
No, this is just, I don't know. I think you have to just be unafraid to push buttons and try things. And that's sort of been what's led my whole life is just, I mean,
Oh my
I
God,
drive,
I'm jotting
I
down.
drive.
Can you repeat that? You should be
Hmm?
you should there. Can you repeat the extra phrasing of that quote? That
What
you
part?
should
But you should just not be afraid to touch things
not be
and
afraid. Exactly. I'm jotting it
yeah.
down. Wait, with a hand and a paper and a
Okay.
pencil. You shouldn't be afraid of
Just touching
pushing
things and getting things in
touching
your hand.
things and pushing buttons and trying
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. My friends chastise me all the time because I'll get in the car in West Palm Beach and then put my cat in the car with me and we'll drive to Canada. You know, and I'm just doing it on my own and I sleep at the truck stops in my car and I have my knife beside me and and then because I don't want to stay in a motel and I don't want to take a plane and so I do that like 4 times a year and everybody thinks I'm nuts but I keep telling people you're never gonna enjoy your life if you don't take risks. Maybe I shouldn't take as many risks as I do, but I've been remarkably lucky that I'm still here and that I've had the experiences I've had. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be 50 in 4 months. And I'm just thinking back to that and I'm thinking, holy crap, I've been in the army, I've been a nurse, I do cryonics, I've flown all over the world. And now I'm here with you guys and I'm doing NFTs in like a week. And so if I can do it, anyone can do it. And you just have to be, I guess, maybe have poor impulse control like me. I don't know, whatever it is.
You swam out to find out what it was. You didn't wait for it to come to you.
Well, it's just so interesting. And I find it so profound that I can sit here and just, you know, play with words a little bit. And it's almost like you develop this relationship with the AI. And that's not quite like that, but where you start tweaking your instructions in such a way that you get what you want out of it. And maybe that's the boundary of what we can call it sort of joined art, where we're not just giving the AI full responsibility for it. I'm not sure, but there has to be some sort of aspect of it that is ours. It isn't just the AI that we're presenting.
For me, the scary monsters at NFT is the smart contract. But after your example, I promise I will try that next week. This is starting tomorrow.
Are you going to start touching things and pushing buttons?
Yeah, because you know what? I have a lot of material. I mean, look, I'm 61 now, and I'm starting on TV when I was 17, and I have many materials. I mean, I just like newspaper clippings, video things. I mean, I was the Venezuelan David Letterman in 1989. I mean, it's bad to say it, but I mean, of course, impossible for you being in Canada. This never transcended over the frontiers of Venezuela. But you can ask any Venezuelan, and maybe over 40, and they know my name because I was on TV. I was kind of a David Letterman for 4 years in Venezuela, and I was the first one to do that. I dare to push buttons on Venezuelan television and touch things, and I got my own TV show, and I was the first one to do it for the history of TV forever. And that's it was such an incredible experience because I said, oh my goodness, I have the model here. I watched Letterman, I watched Johnny Carson, and I wanted to do that for my country because we didn't have never, nobody did that. And I started to, reunite pieces. And then I jumped into the water and said, okay, let's go, let's try it. And we started going, and it was such a smash hit. I mean, I never expected that kind of result. There were 4 years of marble. And you know the best part, the big honchos of the station never care about us. I mean, they gave us that time slot twice a week. We were on not daily, but only Monday and Tuesday and Thursday. Sorry, and everybody was just like we didn't even have promos. It was word of mouth. Everybody was, are you watching this thing? Are you watching this thing? And we became just like a cult or something like that. But I never expected that. And one day I had to do exactly what you said, just like punching things and moving levers and daring to try it, and it happened. And it was easy to do after you are inside. So
I'll give you something that may inspire you, hopefully, and I'll make it quick because I don't want to monopolize everyone's time here. But I went to France back in 2011 with we went to see our cousins. I mean, we have cousins there, and at the time, it was the first time I'd seen an iPad. I had the iPhone, but it's the first time I saw the iPad, and I looked at it, and it was my cousins, and I played with it, and I said, you know what, this might be very interesting for my mother. Now, my mother is 77, and for her entire life, she was so technologically illiterate she couldn't operate a remote control. And I put the iPad in front of her. She was, I don't know, she was probably 70 at the time or whatever. I don't know how long ago that was, but she was, in her late 60s, early 70s at the time. And I put this iPad in front of her, and would you believe, within 2 weeks, she was on Facebook. She had friends. She was, telling me about new articles that she was reading. I mean, it was incredible how even a person, with that sort of life experience and age and all that was able to sort of push buttons and, just try things out and learn. And she got herself on the internet just like that. So I found that very inspiring, actually.
it is an inspiring story because it's not so usual. Actually, in Spain, there is a wonderful program, and they do this. They put a lot of people, old, just like 80-year-olders, okay, to drive a Tesla, okay, and they got a group of millennials, and they give you a Peugeot car from 1948. Okay, so you have to see the cultural technological shock between the youngsters with a very old car and the very old people with the newest car, a Tesla. Wow, that's so quality television. I mean, that's such an intelligent segment. And they do that with a lot of things. And the iPad episode was particularly astonishing because one old lady, 85 years old, and she was just like it was an iPad with a phone connection, and she got to call her daughter. They only explained her once how to do it, and then she said during the recordings in the backstage, how do you say, behind the camera scenes. Look at the moment when Doña Lola, it was the name of the old woman, and we'll never forget that. She said, "Oh, wait, I'm gonna call my doctor." Everybody suspected that she was going to use a cell phone or ask her other son who was there. No, she used the iPad, and he made the phone call from the iPad with the telephone connection. So it's what you say. It's just jumping into the water.
Definitely.
And thanks for being daring and being here sharing this. When 15 days ago you didn't even know what NFTs are. I feel a lot of respect for you. I have to move faster.
Making me blush. Thank you.
I mean, she's doing OpenSea, so OpenSea has their own contract. She's not doing. I mean, I think after the second and third project, she probably will be able to figure it out because she's pretty smart about figuring out the smart contract. So, and I know people
But
too to help you with that. But for now, the best way to start is just do it with a marketplace that provides it.
But I have a red flag with Christine here because I heard somewhere that the Elon Musk is teaching his robots to say that you're making me blush. So we believe they're actually human. So maybe you are. No, no, just kidding. I came up with that. Yeah, Optimus kind of
Right.
blush. They are just like gray and,
I'm
and black or something like that.
I'm Optimus Prime, and I'm here from the future.
Optimus. The Optimus, the previous. That's the Optimus robot, the Optimus Allen, the grandfather, Optimus Prime. That was
Wasn't
wonderful.
that was from the Transformers, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. The first Transformer movies with that was great. That's a shocking concept too, and see what you can believe. That's just like a chrysalid becoming a butterfly. I love that concept.
Yeah. You
So
know
it,
what? Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
oh, it's about
No, what?
17:16. I wanted to like round up the space because it's
My
Thanksgiving and
family is gonna murder me if I'm not downstairs by 7:30 because I made a
yeah, no,
turkey
we're
and
rounding up.
stuffing and
So
oh my god, they were looking at me side. They were giving me the hairy eyeball because it was 7:30. I was like, this is important. I have to do this, and you're gonna have to wait. It's just turkey, and so yeah. So, but if I show up any later,
oh
I
no,
think
no,
they're gonna give my
let's just
food to the
wrap it
dog.
up. Let's just wrap it up. Let's just wrap it up. So because I gotta get ready for Louis' Twitter space also. Louis, can you pin your space up there, up into the nest, so that we can have it. So anyone that wants to pop in to be able to like share their music too, and also we have a guest, so I want him to talk about that too. But yeah. So any final thoughts? Anyone? Carlos, do you want to have any final thoughts? Now you know someone that.
One final question for
Yes. Okay.
Christine. What's the best in your opinion? What's the best or more important longevity research investigation going on now anywhere in the
Hmm.
world?
The best,
Just
the
say the
best in
title.
the
Uh-huh.
best in what way? The best in the might be the quickest or the most successful or the most comprehensive or what? Mm, quickest, I don't know, because we have to live long enough to know if we're going to live longer. Um, that could be a while. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of in terms of what I think has the most promise right now, it's probably the most unpopular, and it's an aldehyde stabilized cryoprotection, which is basically to vitrify the brain and preserve structure completely. And I mean, most people say, "Oh, then you can only upload people afterwards," but I don't believe that's to be true at all. I, and so I mean, I know you asked about longevity, and I understand. I know I'm not really dodging it. I'm trying to say that I really don't think that longevity is. I think it's important, but I would put slightly more importance on that plan B because um, longevity research has a lot of support in the world and a lot of funding, but
Mm-hmm.
cryopreservation doesn't, and it's I think what's going to sort of bridge the gap between what we want and what we're going to get. And unfortunately, I mean, I'm telling you, I believe that to be true from the bottom of my heart.
Wow.
You
Good
know
to
the
know.
research in this though also with cryogenics, like a lot of research, the data from it has been used quite a bit, isn't it, for other
Yep, yep.
things?
I mean, like I know at 21st Century Medicine, Greg Fahey and company are doing research on how to, and maybe this is probably the most worthy because it's the bridge between both. Maybe it's they're doing research on how to extend the quote unquote shelf life of organs for donation, and so that is cryopreservation research of organs, not the brain quite yet, but it's a reversible cryopreservation where let's say you're unfortunate and you have a car accident, you die, you're brain dead, and you donate your organs. Well, they don't need only 5-6 hours to get to the recipient. They can stay on a shelf for years, and we can build
Oh,
up
wow.
banks of organs because they're in liquid nitrogen, and they're all typed and cross matched, and they can be matched to the appropriate recipients anywhere in the world. And Greg Fahey and company are doing research on this. I believe they might have an NIH grant for it. I'm not 100% sure, but it's the type of research that will benefit both worlds. That will benefit longevity because we can replace organs that fail, and it will benefit cryopreservation because it will lead to a better preserved brain, a more reversibly preserved brain. So, if I guess now that I think about it, that might be where I'd put all my money.
And also
Thank you.
the
Thank you for
Cryo
your
Prize
answer.
too.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually something going on right now too. You've heard about the Cryo Prize, right, Christine? From
Yeah,
Joe.
it was won. It was won by Robert McIntyre. The one I mentioned before, the ASC protocol, was actually won by, I believe, by him, because he was able to preserve rabbit brain tissue and then demonstrate that it still functioned afterwards.
I remember
So,
that story. It got
yeah.
written up. It got a lot of media for it.
I've also witnessed experiments done at 21st Century Medicine, where Dr. Fahey works, that they're doing, where they'll remove a kidney from a rabbit. I know animal research, sorry, but they'll remove a kidney, and these are with vets, so this is under anesthesia and surgery. Everything's very, very, cruelty free as much as humanly possible. But they remove the kidney, they cryopreserve the kidney, they rewarm the kidney and reperfuse it, and then they reimplant it in the rabbit and remove the other one so that the rabbit is dependent on that cryopreserved and rewarmed kidney. They have shown success rates of, I think, up to 44 days of survival for the rabbits from a cryopreserved and reversed kidney. And I mean, a kidney is a much simpler organ than a liver or than a heart or even a brain, but it's a start. And so the number of people that die because they don't have replaceable kidneys in even North America is astounding.
Yeah, I know the amount of people on dialysis is
Yep.
incredible. My girlfriend's mom has been on it for 17 years now. Could you imagine being on dialysis for 17 years and she's waiting for a kidney?
Actually, no, I can't, because I remember working in the emergency department. Any patient that ever came in that was a dialysis patient, we always just sort of shook our heads and said, "Oh my goodness, this patient is in an incredibly dangerous situation, no matter what's wrong with them," because it's very hard to control your electrolytes and very hard to control, to do the job of the kidneys. So a lot of things fail.
10 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go.
Yep,
and the timekeeping Optimus robot. Thank you.
Well, I think we should go ahead and shut the space up early because I don't want her to get in trouble. So,
okay.
So everybody, don't forget the space for Crypto Guide Louis is pinned on the nest. Please go ahead and grab it. And also, I want to say hi to Michael. Michael, we're gonna close up the space. I want to let you. You had requested. Did you want to share something?
Yeah, just in line with what the last speaker was saying, I had a very close friend. He was a few years older than me. When I was in high school, he was also on dialysis, and he was doing very well. And then they offered him surgery, and he survived the surgery. And then about 2 weeks later, he passed away from the surgery. So even though this person's been on for 17 years, it's a blessing. But there's no guarantee that when the surgeons say we found a kidney that we believe will match, there's no guarantees that complications will set in later. I found that was something they kind of withheld from this person that passed away. I can say his name. He was a close personal friend. His name was Mark Davis, and he lived in Massachusetts, and he was on dialysis for years and years and years. And when the opportunity came, he was all excited. I was excited for him. His parents were, and his brother were all excited for him. And they rated it as a successful kidney transplant. And like I said, 2 weeks later, he was on certain pills that they gave him. I don't recall what they were for. Probably, I don't know, something to do with the new kidney. Even though it was supposed to be a perfect match, he still died. So there's no guarantee that even if a person gets a kidney transplant, there's no guarantee that person will live. We want to hope that they will. There's been many success stories of people who have gotten a kidney and have lived for years and years and years. But to be fair, I think that the other side also needs to be exposed, that there's still a risk even after surgery. And I think that some people shun away from those facts as well. But I think that the individual that's going to go and get a transplant like that should be informed of everything and not hold anything back, so that a reasonable decision by that individual and their family will make sense.
If your friend obviously didn't get informed consent, and that's a real tragedy, um, I'll say that what you're saying, I completely agree with it. It goes in line with everything I've been saying this whole conversation, that there are so many variables and so many points of failure to our quote unquote longevity plan, that even our basic survival plan, that we need all the help we can get. Now, just to sort of bookend that with what I was saying about the organ cryopreservation research. Imagine if you could marry that with the sort of tissue printing or tissue regeneration research, and just bank your own organs, and then you use up your liver because you partied too much this year. You just go get another one off the shelf that's yours. I know that sounds a little flip, but I just mean that this type of research can be taken in that kind of direction too, where I'm not going to rely on somebody else's organs that I might reject. I might just bank my own.
I agree on that one. So 7:27, Christine, before we go, tell us how to get a hold of you, when, and if anyone can ask you questions about your project, because this is I'm excited because I get to watch you grow. So this is the best part.
They're the best, man. You know what? I'll be paying a lot more attention to Twitter now because I've ignored it for as long as I've known about it. But so if you want to talk to me on Twitter, then I'll give you my email from there, or my phone number, or whatever you need. Depends on what you want. Depends what you guys want to talk about. If I can help, or if I will. If not, then I'll try to pass you into someone that can. But start with, it's just the simplest right now, just to start with the Twitter, and then I'll reach out. I'll give you contact information from there.
So Carlos, another great space, and again, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Louis,
It's an honor to meet all of you.
Yeah, thank you for popping up. And Louis, I'll see you later in your space. And the meeting, I hope you can join us. That would be fantastic. And I know I'm going to see Poison in there. And Michael, thank you as always. And Kay, it's been so long. I will talk to you later. And Carlos, any final words? Carlos? He must be having difficulty. So on that note, everybody have a great day, and we'll let you go, and we'll be back. And make sure you join us. Join me in 30 minutes in Crypto God Louis music NFT space, and we'll be there. The meeting. I hope you can pop in so you can play some of your new song. And again, bye everybody. Bye Christine. I'll see you later.
Bye. I'll see you all soon. Okay. Bye.